I'm Rachel Horgan. Join me each episode as I sit down with a guest co-host covering the latest business stories in the Seattle area. We'll read the news so you don't have to. This is The Weekly. Hello, everybody. It's just me today. We're going to do a little bit of a special episode, and that's because my party was last night. I've talked about this, but it was my 1-year anniversary party for the podcast. Everybody that was a guest on the show was invited, and a +1 made possible by Alaska Airlines and Formidable. They were our sponsors. So it was super, super fun. But because of that, I didn't feel like I could do a regular episode this week. I just didn't have the time and all of that. So instead, what I'm going to do is play some of my favorite pieces of advice from guests that we've had over the past, season 1, past year. I forgot that for half the time, I wasn't asking advice. I was asking if there was anything they wanted to plug. So this is only from the people that I asked. And I have a handful of my favorites, so that's what we're going to do today. If you're feeling a little, if you need some advice this week, we got you. I think I'm going to do like a bonus episode to do a full recap with some friends about both the whole year, but also the party. There's some things I wanted to share with you all. But overall, I'm feeling really, really good. Well, physically not great today, but emotionally, I'm feeling amazing. And it was really cool to see all the support. So that's awesome. Anyway, let's get to the advice. I'm going to do 6 for you today. I couldn't narrow it down to 5. I really like all of these. So the first one is Jake Wittenberg. We recorded this over at King 5, and I just like what he has to say. So let's play the clip. So my last question for you is, what's the best advice you've ever received, or what advice do you have for the listeners today?
Seek luck.
Seek
luck. Put yourself in a position for the miracle to happen. If we just sit around on our couch and do nothing, those opportunities are not going to come. I just think about a lot of the times in my life and my career that I fought and worked so hard for something I didn't even know was there. You have to put yourself in these positions for that miracle to happen. Seek out a chance for that good fortune to come. Seek out those opportunities. Have yourself in a position, because when that opportunity does come, if you're not there to take it, it's not going to happen. So I tell my kids that all the time. And our family motto is work hard, play hard. And I think it falls in that same bucket. Work hard. Even if you don't know where you're going, do things, try things, read things. You never know when that next opportunity is going to come. So seek out a chance to put yourself in a position for that miracle to happen. It's going to happen.
I love that one. I love just the idea of putting yourself in the right position. And I think about that in terms of like taking a client, taking a job, going to the networking event. You don't really know what it could lead to after that. So yeah, I love that with Jake. The next one I want to play is Fran Dunaway with Tomboy X. This is about paying attention to where you're spending your money and why it matters. And I think that's pretty relevant right now.
Think about where you're spending your dollar and who you're supporting and why. And find companies that share your values. And maybe we can all make the world a better place.
All right, coming in at number 4, I have Don Reiling. He owns an Olympic hot tub, and this one's more of a practical one. I thought I'd throw something in here with practicality and what you can really use in your everyday life, which is kind of the mindset and what you should think about when you're going into some big purchases like a hot tub.
I just encourage people that when it comes to big purchases, I guess, maybe, because that's what I have, or if you're looking at things that are going to be critical big purchases in the next year, don't sacrifice the things that you really want from the company you buy from and the product that you want to purchase because of price or because it's a little bit cheaper and you think it'll be okay. Because 90% of the time when you think it's going to be okay, it's not. And when you think it's going to be okay, you have sacrificed something else on the back end that you don't realize until it's too late. So look at warranties, look at the services that the company offers you, look at their policies in terms of returns and exchanges, look at the things that you might need after you walk out the door and have signed on the dotted line, and make sure that that company is going to take care of you and support you long term. Because, whether it's a hot tub, it's a car, it's a boat, it's a Peloton. I mean, whatever you're spending a significant, and everybody's perception of significant money is different, but think about those things. There's a certain dollar amount when you hit it. Like for me, it's over $5,000. So if you are spending over $5,000 on something, you need to look at it as an investment item instead of a purchase item. It's not a throwaway. So you want to invest that money in that product and you want it to last a certain amount of time, perform well. And if something happens to it, you want that company you purchased from to be able to support you. So,
and it's typically going to be something you have for many years. Isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and if it's the right thing and you invested the right amount of money in it, and do your research and make sure that it is a great product and it has great reviews and it has reliability, all that other good stuff. But I mean, you want it to be fun too if it's a toy. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that every day you get up to go use it, it's working.
Okay, number 3 is Amber Simonson. You know her, you love her. I had her on twice. We basically had her on twice. But hers is also a little bit practical. This is about work though. So I just love what she has to say about how we treat our Outlook and our email, and how we treat our Slacks, and just kind of changing your frame of mind on that. So let's hear what Amber has to say.
Urgency tends to live in the inbox right now, and it shouldn't. Urgency really should exist on our messaging apps, because if something's truly urgent, then you should be getting an alert right away. Now, part of that is working with the people who are in your circle to say, like, if something's truly urgent, please get a hold of me. But if you batch process your email, like let's say 4 times a day, right? That means you're literally checking email, every 2 hours? So if something needs a response in 2 hours or less, then it should probably come through another path. And
like a Slack or a Teams.
Teams.
Call.
I remember those when we actually just picked up the phone and called someone.
Sticking with the theme of work, I want to go over to John Cook with GeekWire. So his was all about just like staying around. I'm going to let him say it because he says it so much better. So let's play John's.
Yeah, this one is special to me because the person who provided this advice unfortunately just passed away in the last few months. His name was Tom Huseby. He was a venture capitalist here in Seattle, very well regarded. Maybe not as well known, but I always had kind of a great rapport and connection with him. And he was a funny guy. He was really charming and just charismatic. And he told me one time, and this has always stuck true to me because I think it speaks to our story at GeekWire. He said, "John, you can be successful by just hanging around for a long time." I love this because it speaks to persistence,
grit,
determination, figuring it out as you go. And what he's essentially saying is don't run out of money. Which when you ask any venture capitalists, why do companies fail? They'll tell you because they run out of money.
Yeah.
And you can last a long time by just hanging in there and figuring it out. And really at the end of the day, that's GeekWire's story. I mean, we covered the technology community for 10, 15 years before we even started GeekWire. I've been doing this now for 30 years. I've stuck around for a long time.
Yeah.
Tried to be true to those journalistic ethics while being true to the community and not burning bridges. And that's, that's a fine line that you have to walk to do that and do that well. But I think if you can do that, you can find your paths to success.
All right. So good. So good. Grit. The last one is Nicole's. I've mentioned this a couple times on the podcast, but I had to replay it for you all because just this concept is so simple, but so, I don't know, impactful for me. So let's hear this one.
There's 2 things that I've learned as a small business owner. One is, which I steal from the woman who started Spanx. I can't think of her name, but someone will come up with it. And that's to ask for what you want or need, particularly as a business owner advocating for your space. I talk about how you present yourself online might be, oh, everything's great, I've got lots of work, until I say to clients, hey, I've got capacity. Do you need support? Like, let's work together. If you don't actually say that, the woman from Spanx was giving the example of like, she called up whatever distributor and was like, hey, do you want to sell my product? I asked, right?
Yeah,
so I guess the one thing is like, ask for what you need, ask the question. And the other one is, when things are challenging, and things are challenging for a lot of small business owners now, things are challenging for a lot of people as we head into the next 4 years with a lot of unknowns, and things are, scary for our community and a lot of other communities, is I think when things are hard or scary, the first thing you should do is help. Find ways to help other people, find ways to help your community, reach out to somebody, mentor. If you're struggling or not sure what to do next, great next step is to always help someone else.
All right, you heard it here. Go help somebody else. If you're feeling stuck, help somebody else, and maybe that'll get you unstuck. Well, I hope you're enjoying your week. Hope this advice helped. And like I said, we'll get back to our regular program schedule next week. So have a good one. This has been The Weekly, with production assistance from Nick Patry. If you liked what you heard, rate us and write a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. We love listener feedback, so if you have any story suggestions, comments, or complaints, email us at info@theweeklyseattle.com. Make sure to check back next Sunday for the latest local business news. We'll see you next time.